A little bit of a fire. What's going on, guys? We're back at Tyler's here. Kind of playing around today. We got a little bit of wiring done. Just digging through my stash and found an alternator harness, I guess you would call it.
I don't know what you call that. Wait, Dodge?
Yes,
Found that alternator cheap. We haven't actually had an alternator working, but it's been doing pretty good, not using much for juice. I've been driving around a little bit. Weather did get nice here a couple days ago, so I took it for a drive. Rear suspension's great. It's done.
Yeah, other than maybe some paint.
I flew WD-40'd it.
Yeah, you're all right. Had to make some minor adjustments on the coilovers. Had to remove the adjuster spacer.
Yeah, the adjuster ring on where you can adjust the coilover didn't factor in the compression of the spring, so it sat a little high on the springs, didn't have much travel, so adjusted that a little bit. That seemed to help. It'd be nice if the springs were a little softer, but for what we're doing with it, it's pretty nice.
Yeah, and
I do have front suspension designed.
yeah,
I have the front stub that we got cut out of the junk car.
Yeah.
Did design up all that cantilever setup also. Not sure if that's going to happen. Started going through calendar stuff on events that are happening. I made a list.
The official box.
The official box. It's the calendar.
Yeah.
Akron Sports Car Club, they put their schedule out for 2025. They have 2 events here coming up soon. On the 30th of March would be the first points, Dragway 42. Thought is, if the weather's nice, might try and drive this up there. It's 2 hour, 100 miles, one way.
Try to get some bugs worked out of it and get this thing figured out before we decide to take this down to
Deals Gap Rotary Rally.
Yeah.
At the end of April. Tail of the Dragon, North Carolina side. I started looking at stuff down there, and it's a good drive back and forth in the middle of absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, and we're kind of untested at this point, so we still got to figure some carb jetting out, and then the front end's still a little wonky. We got to kind of work our way through that.
I shimmed that lower control arm and actually kicked the wheel out.
Yeah, I was going to say, actually, now that I'm looking at it, it's still popped out, but it's a little some more square now.
And it was towed in horrible.
Okay.
So I towed it out and then drove down to O'Reilly's here the other day, and it's stiff.
Is it darty?
This has different springs in it
than the other car.
It's not factory springs, so yeah, it's a little stiffer in the front.
And this is unknown race car, so whoever had this before us has played around with it before we had it. So who knows what's been messed around with on those spring shock assemblies.
I don't know if anything with shocks. There's no signs of playing there. I think they're racing style springs. We do need a seat.
Yeah.
If you want to ride.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to follow with the bus.
I don't know if I want to take the bus on the tail of the dragon.
Unhook the trailer.
Yeah. So, yeah. A couple autocross events. Tail of Dragon's a big... I got a little school bus. We're going to be hauling this thing down, probably staying there. Decals. Get this thing all stickered up.
Oh, yeah. I want to sticker this up. I got to get down to the lady down the road, see if she can help us out. There's a couple people here in town that we'll decal it up. Open trailer, so free advertisement.
My wife's got a vinyl cutter. We can play around with some stuff, too. So
get something cut out.
Yeah. We just would need to figure out material on what you'd want to put on it.
Started playing with light stuff. I 3D printed turn signal lenses. They have 2 LEDs in there. The rear taillights, I don't know if I showed you guys, but that's got LEDs in it. I'm waiting on a 12-volt PLC module. I don't know.
It's like
I'm going to try and play with ladder logic for these lights, see if I can do something weird with them, but make them flash weird or something dumb. I don't know.
I saw you have like a little mirror set up.
Yeah, that's another thing I found when I was driving this around town. You cannot see out the back of it.
Got like a little 3D printed like kind of bullet mirror.
It doesn't work good.
Well, it's better than nothing, but I mean, at least it looks cool. So we're just kind of figuring a lot of the little stuff out. Do you do a whole rundown on the back setup yet?
No, last video I think was we're almost finished up.
Yeah, well, so the back cantilever setup,
It's very hard to video.
yeah, is turned out really, really nice. They kind of pop back through the back here. You can kind of,
Oh, flip the thing around.
yeah, there we go. That'll look better. Kind of set up. Seemed to work pretty darn good. Not too stiff. Still got some adjustability on it. But yeah.
This panel did have to cut out quite a bit, so it flops some. And when you're driving down the road, you can kind of see that. So it'd be nice to brace it somehow.
Maybe put a strut going down or something.
Yeah, somehow. I've kind of thought about welding in a trim piece to stiffen it up, but that'd take a lot of effort.
Sway bar setup seems to be surprisingly holding on.
It's just half-inch water pipe.
Yeah, and it seems to do
And then I
its
cut
job.
it, sleeved it, and had to weld it because I didn't have the right width. And it hasn't broke yet.
Yeah.
And I did try off-roading it and try and break it. It didn't work. I just didn't succeed.
Then we got a little 3D printed shifter cover here. Got some turn signal switches and some indicator stuff. Just trying to make this thing legal enough that, I mean,
Just legal enough.
just legal enough that, you know, don't get in too much trouble. But yeah, it's coming along.
I don't know if I did anything about tail lights, but there's various LEDs down inside and got amber ones in there for turn signals. I think there's 10 LEDs in there. And it's all PLA, but this is thin enough it does shine through. We're going to see how long it lasts in the sunlight. So experiment.
Cheap or free, so can't be too mad at it. The stance with the coilovers is really about perfect from the back.
I did have to shorten the push rods a little bit. I had them a little long. It sat up a little bit, so I shortened them, but we can go farther. And with the front that I designed, it is to drop 1 inch from where it's at now.
Yeah, so you'd be not quite tucking tire.
Yeah,
in the front.
which I think looks really cool.
Yeah, I think it'd be cool. And you could, this is the front stub that we cut out of the other car. He's been pulling measurements for the setup for that.
That is CAD design work right there.
Cardboard engineering.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then this thing, I think we got some parts to rebuild this rack. The other one's got some issues.
The boots are ripped.
So we're gonna probably rebuild this rack and then swap them. So then the front end will be pretty much where it needs to be, and then you're gonna run some Heims for the
Yep,
tie
get rid of
rods.
these ball joints. It'll be all Heim joint everything. This is weird with the lever shock. What I have designed up is actually to remove this and it'll bolt into these holes. And where this pivot point is, to get optimum geometry from what I can learn online, pivot point I actually raised a little bit. So it'll almost be a bolt-in kit minus the welding of the brackets for the shocks coming in, because they'll be mounted in the center. But the rack stays the same. I've measured where the pivot point is. Lower control arms, these have a big hole where bushings actually slide in. So I'm gonna have a plate that goes in the backside to brace that up. But it'll be fabricate the spindle, everything.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try and 3D print as much as I can. Size-wise, I can get away with that. And just to test it out, just to verify before I spend the money on all of it.
Yeah, the shocks that he wants to run, the coilovers are got some money. What, about $600 for the set? He's got like a Jegs double adjustable that he's kind of done all his measurements off of, and it's going to kind of all live right within here.
Pretty much that pivot point of the shock to the cross member is right in line. So switch out that arm to a bracket that's L-shaped, that's half-inch thick steel, weld some things together, and get a pivot point.
Yeah. And if you guys have any questions, comment. If you're interested in any of the design work of the rear suspension as well, or if you have any, just want some design pointers, because I don't. Is there anybody doing this like this?
There's a few cantilever videos that I've came up and found and watched, but learning. All of them that I've seen are more along like how the front I want to design, and not parallel like the rear. I did that mostly just for the sway bar that you can add into it.
Yeah. So we'll kind of keep you guys posted. We're hoping now that the weather is going to start breaking, we're going to actually have some fun videos. I know this has been a lot of talking and just overview. Cutlass has kind of been put on a back burner. The rear end's in it, but I got some modifications we got to do to get that in, and I need some upper control arms. I'm kind of working on my mini school bus right now because with some of the events with this thing coming up, we need a tow rig that we can crash in.
Short bus.
Yeah, and
Mini school bus or short bus?
I had to. I feel a little better saying mini school bus than short bus. I don't know. We could each get T-shirts that say I ride the short bus. But and if you guys are interested in that, it's a GMC mini bus that I've got a set of bunk beds and just kind of a cheap camper conversion. So we may do a rundown on that, but it's coming along.
Another event I didn't think of, but it is on the list, Edgewater Raceway. We've gone down there a couple times drag racing, but this year they are going to try, I didn't tell you, it's a rallycross also. So they're doing autocross and rallycross same day event. So it'd be kind of something interesting that they're trying. It'd be cool to watch.
That would be really cool to watch.
Because basically behind the track, they tried a dirt track. I guess they had issues with the city, town, whatever, for dirt track. But they're going to try rallycross there.
Really?
This isn't really a rallycross car.
I was going to say, what class? I wonder what classes they have and what can we buy cheap to go do it?
Have some fun. Rallycross would be fun.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. I don't know if they've got classes posted or how that would be all set up.
Autocross was, but I don't know if they're going to share the same classes. They might share the same classes between them. Not positive on that.
Gotcha.
Facebook page is where I'm finding all this stuff.
And we'll have there'll be some drag racing content coming up once the weather starts breaking too. I'm sure that I know LS Fest and a few other things we're going to try to get in.
I ain't able to make the LS Fest. I can tell you that much right now.
Yeah. Maybe Ford Fest.
I ain't going to that. Fords.
So, all right, guys. Well, as this thing comes along, we'll keep you posted. Hopefully, once we get this charging system kind of finalized and a few other things, we're going to start doing some driving videos of this. Maybe do a road trip or something, a quick road trip. We'll video it and see if we get stranded.
I think that's... right now, the carburetor is lean. It's running about 14. I got air fuel gauge in it now, but about 14 to 15 air fuel. Idling's pretty good, so I'm not sure if it's bull height settings, fuel pressure, but now with the air fuel ratio, I can lean more towards it's not timing.
Yeah. Yeah, this carb's pretty foreign to us. We're kind of...
It is.
It's strange.
There was a lot of emission stuff on it that I've stripped off.
And it's not too happy because of it.
Yeah.
So we might fight with it for a while, but I think the ultimate goal is to come up with...
Supercharger.
Yeah, a new induction setup, whether that be a different carb setup or a supercharger.
Been seeing a lot of advertisements for that ACFI.
And they just came out with like an ACFI 2 as well. So for the price, I don't know.
Looks like decent stuff.
I don't know. I've run Holley on most all my stuff. I don't have any experience with any other brand, so I'd be curious to see what it's about. I don't know.
Other than tucking more wiring, there's not many hiding spots on this car for wiring. I can tell you that much.
No. But if you wrap it all nice, it won't look too bad. But
thanks for watching. We'll keep this video short.
All right, guys. We'll get you back on the next update.